Welcome once again to my channel. This time around I'm with Desmond, a Nigerian student also schooling in Russia. And so make sure you stay tuned and grab some popcorn. So Desmond, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Before we start, okay, what do you study in Russia? What do you study?
I'm a bachelor student and my course is nuclear physics and technologies here in Russia, Tomsk Polytechnic University.
Okay, so I study in Tomsk Polytechnic University.
Yeah.
It's a nuclear physicist.
Yeah, nuclear.
Why nuclear?
It's my passion from childhood anyway. It's my passion to study in the line of technologies and nuclear. You understand? So I think here in Russia it's a stepping stone for me to achieve my dreams.
Alright. Now that you are aware of the issue of sanctions and war, I mean, when Russia is being mentioned on the international market, we hear that it's not safe and things like that. What do you think? What is your opinion on that?
Anyway, at first I was thinking it's not safe. When I was in Nigeria, I was thinking it's not safe. But with some kind of researches and things like that, I got to know that it's safe because we are not. There is no anything like because there is nothing to be scared about. Do you understand?
All right. So that's the issue of the security and safety of students. So you think that in general, students are safe?
Yeah.
And what is the advice you give to students who are coming to Russia applying for the next applications? What are your advices for them? Do you think they should come?
Yeah, of course. I think they should come. Okay. It's very, very peaceful here. Very, very peaceful.
All right. So ever since you've been here, what are some of the life-threatening moments you faced? Have you faced any life-threatening moments here? And if so, can you tell us any life-threatening moments you faced?
On what aspect?
Anything at all. Any experience you've had that had threatened your life here in Russia?
I think personally, I think I've not had anyone.
Okay.
I think I've not had it. But my friends had. They have had issues like Russians, racist Russians, trying to beat them and just bully them or just collect things from them, stuff like that. But it has not happened to me anyway.
All right. So with the issue of racism,
yeah.
How frequent is it here? Are they racist here, as they say?
I think it is bound to happen. It is bound to happen. You understand? But it's not very, very. It's just once in a while. I don't think it's because most people are not. They don't support it. So I think it's not common. It's not common. Yeah.
All right. So out of 100%, how many percentage do you think? How much would you rank racism in terms of percentage here?
I will rank it. Let me say 30%.
30%.
Yeah, 35%.
All right. Yeah. That's fair. Okay. So now with the issue of money, as a student, you would need money to support yourself.
Yeah.
How do you get money? Since that there are sanctions on the international banking and other thing, how do you get funded?
Firstly, not being a scholarship student, trust me, it's not easy. Do you understand? It's not easy. Not being a scholarship student, it's not easy. Because for me, I'm not a scholarship student, but I think because for me to get money, I have to money comes from my parents. Do you understand? So it's not as if they send from Nigeria to Russian, from Naira to rubles. Do you understand? But it's just like they send dollars. So I now get it exchanged. Yeah, do you understand? So that's how I get to pay for my school fees and just on my feeding stuff like that. Do you understand?
Okay, understood. Now, all right. So Desmond, about the issue of standard of living,
yeah.
Because of the sanctions and other things are supposedly spiked up in terms of prices. Yeah. And how do you cope with this? How do you cope with the standard of living as a student here?
Firstly, I think for feeding, I don't think it's quite expensive. Do you understand? Because if it was to be compared with money to get feedings in Nigeria, it's more expensive. But on the norms to exchange Naira to rubles, if I was to get it with the same amount in Nigeria, it's going to be it's more expensive. Do you understand? It's more expensive. But from here in Russia, I don't think for the aspect of feeding, I don't think it's quite normal. It's quite normal. But I don't think for other things like maybe clothing and stuff, other things, I think it's a little bit expensive.
Now the next segment is this is quite off the track, but I think I need to do this for the sake of people watching.
Okay, no problem.
A lot of people ask about as an international student,
Right.
dating. I mean, having a relationship with a native or a white lady as a black. What is your take on it? Do you think it is something worth venturing? It is something if you want to, you should do, or something you should avoid at all costs?
I don't think you should avoid because there is nothing bad there. You understand? They're just let me just say the only difference here is just that they're just the skin complexion. You understand? That's what I think about it, and also their mentality. You understand? Because you cannot compare a African lady mentality to a Russian girl mentality. You understand? It's what they have been living with since childhood, so I think it's very, very different. But for a guy, if you want to, I think it's quite normal. It's quite okay for you to date a Russian girl. You're in Russian, of course.
So you mean the mentality is the difference?
Yeah, the mentality is different because most people think that I don't just know about what they think, but I think it's just the mentality. You understand?
So if I'm getting you right, you mean that if you are a man, if you are an international student, and you can be able to cope with their mentality,
yeah,
then you are good to go. Is that what you mean?
That's it. But it takes time to get along with them.
Okay.
It takes a lot of time to get along with them because it's not easy because you have to just blend into their own tune. You understand? You have to blend because on the norms in Africa, the way we do things might be different. Okay, now for instance, if you want to ask a girl out in African, there are some certain ways you do it.
Okay.
You understand? But for here, you cannot just use the same way you ask a girl out in African just to compare, just to use the same method in asking a Russian girl. It cannot work.
Okay.
It cannot work. It certainly would work.
And how about the language barrier? You know, Russians, about 90% of them speak Russian, and only a few percent of the population are good with English. So how do you cope in such a situation as an international student who has a perspective of probably, if not doing business here, but say you want to have a relationship with a Russian lady? What do you think? Do you think is going to help? I mean, how do you think it's going to work?
Firstly, from my own point of view, you understand? From my own point of view, I just think you shouldn't hurry. You understand? Just take your time to at least just know how to communicate, even if it's just little with their language. Do you understand?
Okay.
Because it's something because here in Russia, what they believe is that even teachers, even lecturers say it also that for you to be able to be very good in Russian speaking, you have to have a girlfriend that is a Russian. Do you understand? So firstly, I just think you just have to just build yourself and just learn how to speak it. Like just learn. Most time you can do it from online classes and in schools, of course. You understand? And the kind of languages, the kind of words you learn from the street. So just kind of put everything together and just make it one and just try your best to communicate and to start some kind of communication. You understand? So I think when you are good in some kind of communication, you are good to go. You're good to go. So she helps you along the way. So to make everything.
So you mean that you date a Russian because you want to learn the language?
Not because you want to learn the language, but it's part of it.
Okay.
Not because you want to learn the language. It's something you must learn. Do you understand? Because for you to like, there is this saying: if you're in Rome, you behave like a Roman. Okay. If you're in Rome, you speak like a Roman. You understand? Even if you're not in Rome, you understand? But firstly, you just have to just blend into their tune. Do you understand? Just blend into their tune. Just find out, by all means, learn their language firstly.
So what advice do you give to some of us who have girlfriends, African girlfriends? Do you think what advice do you do? What do you think? What do you say to them? Or
okay, firstly, I won't force anybody to have it. It's the most for you to have a Russian girlfriend. Anyway.
Okay.
I think if you have a girlfriend, an African girlfriend from home, it's normal. It's normal for you not to cheat on your girlfriend. But you can have a friend, of course. You can just have a friend. It does not mean you guys should be dating. Do you understand?
Okay.
Just have a close friend, like a close friend that you guys can talk things out together, and she can push you through in Russian speaking. You know, that's just it. It's not much for you to just cheat on your girlfriend. You don't have to cheat on your girlfriend. If you have a girlfriend, you don't have to cheat on your girlfriend. You understand? So that's just it.
Thank you. Thank you for this session. Thank you for your answers.
Thank you.
My viewers, I hope I'll see you next time. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so.
Yeah, sure. You should subscribe. Yeah, you should subscribe. Please just click on the like button, please, and just comment.
And how do you tell Nigerians to? How do you say in your language? Are you an Igbo or you are Yoruba?
I'm a Yoruba guy.
What do you tell them in your dialect?
Okay, just to subscribe,
Yeah,
right?
to subscribe.
Just tell them that okay, Ejo, Ebawa subscribe, see, Ori channel, Ejo, Shegbo.
Thank you. Echo subscribe.
Ejo, Ebawa subscribe to the channel.